The psychology of people who never ask for help. Have you ever met someone who handles everything alone, even when they are clearly overwhelmed? They refuse offers of support, stay quiet when they're struggling, and seem to have an invisible wall that keeps people from helping them. To outsiders, it looks like stubbornness or extreme confidence, but psychology says this behavior isn't about being tough. It's a deeply ingrained mental pattern that reveals a lot about how their brain was wired to survive. Let's talk about the real science-backed reasons behind the people who never ask for help. This isn't just a personality trait, it's often a psychological adaptation to their environment. Survival independence. Developmental psychology shows that children who grow up without consistent emotional or physical support develop what is known as survival independence. When a child learns early on that they cannot rely on others to meet their needs, they stop expecting comfort and stop asking for help. As adults, they appear incredibly capable and composed, but internally, they simply don't trust support that feels temporary or unreliable. They do it themselves because, in their mind, doing it yourself is the only way to ensure it actually gets done. The weight of parentification. Many people who refuse help today were the responsible ones yesterday. Psychologists call this parentification, when a child is forced to manage the emotions or responsibilities of the adults around them before they are ready. This forces the brain to adapt by suppressing its own needs. These individuals grow up believing that their feelings come last and that needing help is equivalent to being a burden to others. They weren't born strong. They became strong because there was no other option. Internal locus of evaluation. People who stay quiet and handle their own problems often possess a high internal locus of evaluation. This means they judge their success and worth by their own standards, not by the validation of others. While this leads to a strong sense of inner security, it also means they don't look outward for solutions. They rely on self-validation and feel that involving someone else might distort their own perfectly structured internal work systems or ideas. Uneasy rest and cognitive alertness. For those who grew up too fast, the act of resting or stepping back to let someone else take over feels dangerous. Their nervous system stays in a state of chronic stress adaptation, where they only feel useful when they're solving a problem or being needed. To them, asking for help feels like doing nothing, and in their past, calm usually meant something was about to go wrong. They stay busy not because they want to, but because their brain associates safety with strength and softness with danger. Cognitive complexity and selective organization. Highly intelligent individuals often avoid asking for help because of cognitive complexity. Their minds naturally examine every angle, consequence, and possibility of a situation that others might miss. They often feel that explaining the problem to someone else is more mentally draining than just solving it themselves. Psychology calls this selective organization. They put energy into the task, but ignore the social ritual of collaboration because their brain seeks depth and efficiency, not the surface-level conversation that often comes with team-based problem solving. Finally, many who refuse help have a highly sharpened sense of emotional awareness. They can read people quickly and sense shifts in mood, but they use this skill to protect themselves. They are guarded because they know the cost of caring and the vulnerability that comes with dependency. Asking for help requires a level of trust they may not be ready to give, so they remain the observer rather than the participant. If you are someone who never asks for help, psychology says you aren't broken. It means your nervous system adapted to pressure early, teaching you responsibility before safety. But remember, healing doesn't mean becoming weak. It means learning that you are finally allowed to rest and that you no longer have to carry the weight of the world alone. If you want to keep decoding the hidden psychology behind human behavior and the truths most people ignore, hit that subscribe button right now. because the next video might explain something about your mind you've never noticed before.